lovely gentlemen, and I can guarantee you it's going to be a great time. So Liverpool, are you ready? Please put your hands together and give a big, warm Liverpool welcome to James Marsters!
Before we get started, could I ask a favor?
Of course.
I'd like to take a small video of anyone cosplaying from anything that I've been in, or it has like a tattoo, Buffy tattoo or something. And then I string that together and put it on social media, but I'd like to give them a big round of applause in the little video afterwards, where that's where you guys come in, if you don't mind. So when I say action, can you guys raise your arms and scream like your team won the binky, or whatever you guys play for around here? Is that cool?
It's an acting challenge. You up for it, guys? All right.
Okay. Super easy. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, action!
Oh, they're naturals. Y'all are gonna make it in Hollywood. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for that. Liverpool is such a fun crowd. First of all, I am so thrilled to have you here because we've had some great interviews before, but I will tell you what, Liverpool is a different crowd. They're a rowdy crowd. They know how to party. How have you been enjoying Liverpool Comic Con so far, Jim?
I love it. I mean, first of all, I love conventions in general. I find all over the world, everyone's beautiful, everyone's safe, and you can be whatever you want to be. It's like heaven. Yeah. But Liverpool reminds me of Austin, Texas, or Seattle, Washington in the States. Because everyone who lives in Seattle or Austin, they love it. They're not moving anywhere. They're it's right here. We don't have to look for it elsewhere. Liverpool rocks. Yeah.
It really does. And you've seen a lot of the UK, by the way. So I've seen you in so many different places with Monopoly events, and all of the fans have been amazing. But have you had a chance to really get to see Liverpool, Cavern Club, Beatles, all of the nostalgia that's here?
Yeah, I played the Cavern with my band, not my band, but the band I'm in, and then I played it solo. But I went to the Beatles museum Friday and found out that the Cavern Club that I played in wasn't the same one that the Beatles played in. You all know that. I was like,
somebody lied to you.
Well, no, it fell down, or it got ripped down, or so they just, they demolished the original, so they rebuilt it, and the acoustics are still great. But yeah, so I've been this. I think this is my third time to Liverpool. But yeah, I got to walk around on Friday. That was cool.
Well, tell us more about your music, because obviously, a lot of the actors that we talk to are multifaceted. They do a lot of amazing things, philanthropy, music, things like that. So how does the musician side of you coexist with the actor side of you? Get a little deep here on the Oprah couch.
Yeah, I was playing in bars when I was 13. It was a great way to get into bars.
Is that loud? Is that okay?
Yeah.
13.
Well, yeah, I was a musician, so it's okay, I guess. And I was only playing James Taylor. I refused to play anyone but James Taylor. I had my nose in the air. But then, I decided to study acting in college and really kind of pursue that. And for a long time, my guitar kind of went into my private life. And then after Buffy was being filmed, I did an interview and they asked me if I played an instrument, and I said, yeah, guitar. And someone who had a club in LA read that, because I got a call, do you want to play 14 Below in Santa Monica? And they must have figured it does not matter if this guy's any good. He's on television, so if we get him in the club, he's going to sell tickets, we're going to make money, he'll be fine. And I went there, and sure enough, I wasn't very good. And I knew it, but I had fun, and I thought, if I keep doing this, I'll probably get better. It's all about practice. So for about a year and a half, I was doing big clubs, the biggest clubs in LA, and I was terrible. And I remember I was playing the Key Club, which is like the biggest club in LA, and they come backstage to me and they're like, dude, Pink is in the audience. She can't wait to hear you. And I was just like,
Oh my God, no pressure. What? Pink?
no, it's a nightmare, man. And sure enough, by the end of the show, Pink was nowhere to be seen. She like took off. And she, you know. But then I met a 18-year-old kid who had come to LA to sell his album. He was part of he had a rock band in Sacramento that was getting airplay up there called Power Animal. And he was trying to sell their album and just hitting a wall in LA. Couldn't get anyone to listen to him, but it was a really good album. We started a band. And we formed and cut an album within a month, and then we toured it like right away. And it kind of took off. It went really well, actually. Primarily because everybody else in the band was like really good. And I'm a pretty good singer, so it worked out pretty good.
Well, if you guys are new to this experience here, we'd love to get interactive with our fans. So we do have microphones here. Number 1 is here on the right. We've got number 2 on the left. And then up top, we've got number 3 and 4. But a question for me before we go to the fans. Obviously, Liverpool is so much fun. The fans here are amazing. But with your illustrious career as you've had, how amazing is it that your career kind of spans the globe, right? Because I'm sure you've had very well-traveled experiences. And people know you all over the world. What's that been like, fan experience-wise?
Really good.
I like it.
I don't know. I still pinch myself. Like, how did I get here? You know, like, what door did I walk through that now I'm living this life? Because I was like a really poor theater actor for a long time. And I was in my mid-30s, and I had a son. Well, I didn't have, I was part of the process, but I was a father for the first time. And I realized that I had to try to make money, and theater, I was very successful in theater, but you don't make any money, certainly not enough to be a parent. And so I came down to Los Angeles to basically prostitute myself, and I ended up on Buffy, which is amazing, and suddenly, hi, here I am. So yeah, it's just, I still pinch myself. I don't know how to answer the question. It's surreal to this day, yeah.
We love it because you're so humble about it, but obviously, your career spans the globe. We're here in Liverpool, and the fans love you in Liverpool. And
by the way, yes. You guys can ask me anything that you want. Like, I am shameless. Try to embarrass me. I dare you. Bring it. But I don't necessarily promise to answer anything that you ask me. But try it, whatever, it's good. Yeah.
Just throwing down the gauntlet. It's there, he will answer. And again, I told you guys, I did pre-warn them not to no pressure, but I was like, this is gonna be so much fun because you're so candid with the audience and so amazing with the fans. So let's get right to you guys, because here at Monopoly, it's not about me fangirling, which I will do. It's about y'all. So let's get to microphone number 1. We have a beautiful princess on your right that would like to ask you a question.
Hi, James.
Hello.
My name's Courtney. I grew up watching Buffy as my mum is still a massive fan of yours. She had posters and collectibles of you all over the house. I couldn't get away from your face. It was insane. So
I'm so sorry.
I don't mind. But unfortunately, she can't be here at the moment. So I kind of want to ask a question. Her name's Christina. Just kind of for me and for her. Basically, what was the most memorable moment that you had on the show?
Wow. There were so many. It was heaven. Every time they said action, I was in heaven.
Yeah.
And every time they said cut, I was like, damn it. I have to come back down to earth because the writing was just amazing. I remember shooting the very first scene, and it worked right away. It was like getting into a car that I knew how to drive right away. There were some. Usually with a character, it takes you about a day and a half to kind of figure out where all the levers are and where the gas pedal is and all of that. With Spike, it was just right away. I was like, oh yeah, let's race. Let's go. And I kind of realized, I don't think I'm going to be poor anymore. At least for a little while. Because they said, you're going to do at least 5 or 10 episodes. If we like you, it'll be 10. If we don't like you, it'll probably be 5. You know, we'll kill you off quickly. But it worked. Like the very first scene worked really well. And so I was like, I'm going to get 10, baby. I'm going to feed my family for like a year on this shit, you know.
Well, my mum bought you pretty much all out with the collectibles, so yeah, that's understandable. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you. Good question. Good question over here, microphone number 2 on the left. Hi there.
Hello, my name's Robin, and just like the person before, my mum was a massive, massive fan of you. Same here. But 21 years ago, she saw you for the first time when she was 13, and she wanted me to ask you, before I ask my question, if you could just say hi, Amy. She's right at the front row.
Hey, Amy. Great cosplay. You look good after 13 years, Vic.
So my question was, you mentioned your band, and I just wanted to know, what was the highlight of Ghost of the Robot for you?
It's so hard to say, man. Like one of the highlights was I produced the first album because only I had enough money to do it. Like they're all like 17 years old, you know, and I'm on Buffy, so like I'll pay for the first album. But like I was a theater producer in Chicago and Seattle, so I had produced artists before. And I had learned that the best way to do it is you get really talented people in the same room and then pressure them to go quick and deny them a lot of money. Like don't let, because they'll get lazy, they'll get, like the creativity doesn't really pop unless they're kind of semi-panicked, frankly. So I just kept going, you know, like they were like, we need another take, we need another, I'm like, no, keep going. You got one more, no, we're moving on to the next song. And they hated me. Hated me. But we got like a really kind of ferocious, energetic, dirty rock album out of it. And I was really, that's kind of a high point for me as a producer, like to know how, to be the worst musician, but also know how to get the best music out of this situation. That was kind of cool. I remember playing for we played for 5,000 people in Berlin. That was amazing. We played for like 5,000, 7,000 quite a few times. And I gotta say, like, that, you can see why rock stars go weird, you know? Because like, the temptation for the ego to take off, when that many people are screaming and excited about what you're doing, your ego can start screaming that you're really cool, you know? Which is like, very dangerous. You know, like my ego is the part of me that wants me to be lonely. My ego is the part that wants me to be disconnected from other people, either by feeling like I'm better than they are, or worse than they are, or I'm not getting my way, or whatever it is. And it fights what makes me happy, which is to be connected with other people. But I'm like, so I don't know if that's a high point, but it was really, like those shows were really intense. Thank you!
Yeah.
That is one of the high points of my life, yeah. Yeah, so that's what I got for now.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Great analogy about the ego. Very deep. This is what happens with the Oprah Winfrey set. This is where we get very deep. We might start crying at some point. We'll see what happens. We have a question up at the top right. Hello there, number 3, up at the top. Hiya.
Hi, my name's Ava.
Ava.
Hello. My mum has been watching you since she was my age, 13. She's been obsessing over you. Can you just say hi, Angela, to her?
Hello, Angela. I'm giving you my fake, sexy British accent. So what is it with you? Your mothers, you just put your daughters up to it? You don't understand in the microphone. What's up?
My question is, during your whole acting career, what has been the most surprise to you?
Well, with the thinker questions, y'all are on point today. You came to play.
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know how to answer that without sounding really too confident.
Oh, it's all French here.
So
You can sound
weird. Like,
confident, yeah.
okay, like I've known that I wanted to be an actor since I was like very little, you know, like 9 years old. And I remember they interviewed me in my high school. The high school newspaper interviewed me and like, what are your plans? And I was like, my plan is that I want to go to Santa Monica Pacific Conservatory and then on to Juilliard. And then I want to do regional theater, and then after that I think I want to do Hollywood maybe. We'll see. And that's exactly what I did. Like, that is so weird. That, like, I remember I saw this article years later and I read it. I was like, Jesus Christ, I knew exactly what I was going to be doing. I knew that Buffy was going to last because I'm a Star Trek fan. And I knew, right? I'm like an OG Star Trek fan. And like, I've seen those episodes like 30 times. I know exactly what they're going to say. I know exactly what's going to happen. But I still go back to that world. There's something about that world that I want to go back to. It makes me feel good. And I think it's because that original series was selling hope. You know? Like, we don't have to blow ourselves up. We might survive ourselves and graduate, kind of. And I kind of sensed that Buffy was creating a world that might be doing that too. Like, it might be so fun to be in Sunnydale that people might want to return to it even though they know what's going to happen. And I remember, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning and I went to my fellow castmates and I was like, guys, we may be talking about this scene for the rest of our lives. Anyone want a cup of coffee? And so I kind of knew that. I don't know. I guess I am surprised that it all went so well. I guess. I don't know how to answer your question. You've embarrassed me. You did it.
Thank you. I have to ask now, you being a big Trekkie, as it were, a Star Trek fan, have you, at Comic-Cons, for example, met any of your Star Trek heroes before?
God, yes. I met.
How'd it go?
God, horribly.
Oh, yay!
So bad, man. Like, I met Leonard Nimoy. He's the nicest person, or was. And I was just like, like that. And that was when I was a kid. And then I met him again in the green room when I was on Buffy. And like, he was put into a separate green room, probably because even in the green room, people are all over him, because everyone's a fan of Spock, you know. So in order for him to get a rest, the dude was like 65, 70 years old, he wanted to rest. And they put me in the same room with him. And it was like my second convention of my life. I didn't understand how tired you could get, and that you know, Leonard might really want 10 minutes to rest, you know? And I just like went, hi, I'm your biggest fan, how you doing? And he was just like, and from that time on, I had to avoid him. I just like, I'm not gonna bother him. I'm not even gonna look at him. So sorry. I can't be cool.
But it's great for us to hear stories like that because we're all here as fans to meet our favorites, such as you. So again, give it up for James Marsters, my goodness. For sharing that fan story because we all have them for sure. Very relatable. We're going to go to microphone number 4 up at the top left. Hello, sir.
Hi, James.
Hey, brother.
I'm Griff.
Right on, Griff.
Yeah, I love you in your TV shows, Buffy, Torchwood, Smallville. They're all good. But I appreciate your vocal talent more in the Dresden series of audiobooks. We met yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, would you, if they do it in the future, be willing to be in another TV show of Dresden?
Yeah.
And what future projects are on the horizon for you?
Yeah, I would love to do. I would hope if they did Dresden that they would give it enough money to do it properly, you know? I don't know who I would play. I'm not tall enough for Harry Dresden.
You are.
Oh. Well, you know, like who did Lord of the Rings? You know, like they'd have to Gandalf me.
Yeah.
You know, they'd have to make me look really taller than other people. But I mean, you could do anything with money, I guess. What was your, Griff, what was your other question? What was the second part of that? Oh, projects. So yeah. So I am currently doing a project with DreamWorks for Apple Plus, but I can't talk about it. Except to say that the producers came up to me and they're like, "Your character is popping. He's like the star of the show. Oh my God." It's going very well. And then Ghost of the Robot, the band that I'm in, we're back in the studio in January, so we're gonna do a new album. Yeah.
Love to hear that. Very exciting. We've got a question at microphone number 1 here on the right. Hi there.
Hello, my name's Harley.
Hey, Holly.
And my question is, where did you learn to do the British accent, and how was it to get into whilst you were playing it?
Well, you know, I watched a lot of Monty Python as when I was younger, but it wasn't that great, really. It's probably not too good right now. I don't think, like, I go back to school hard in the first few episodes, and it's not so nice. It's not so great, you know. But then I said the word bullock as bullock because the script was written by an American, and they spelled it B-U-L-L-L-O-C-K-S, bullocks. And I was like, okay, bullocks. And Tony Head came up to me after he saw it. He's like, "We don't say it like that in Prague. You're embarrassing me back home. So I'm going to help you right now." So he would come and tutor me by force. He would come in, the new script would come, and sure enough, Tony would come through my door, and he wouldn't knock. He's like, "It's time." And we would go through the script line by line until he was satisfied that I wasn't going to embarrass him anymore. And I think if he hadn't done that, I don't know that I would have fooled anybody in the long run. But then it really it sunk in when I visited the UK, and I started getting the rhythm of the language more. Because the sounds are one thing, but getting the rhythm of a new language that's when it really kind of clicks. But yeah, it's Tony Head, basically. Yeah.
Question. Yeah, it's sort of like an inflection over here, right? It's like, everything's a little, the inflection, yeah. Been here a while, it's interesting. We have a question over here at number 2, the microphone here on the left.
Hi, I'm Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Sarah Michelle Gellar in a recent interview said that if they were going to reboot Buffy, that she'd want Zendaya to play Buffy. Who would you want to play Spike? And would you come back as Giles if they asked you to?
Well, I think the best idea is to not recast Buffy, to not recast Spike, and just let there be a new Slayer for a new generation. And just do a new one. And Zendaya would be great. She'd be fabulous. I think that's a great idea. But if they did that, it would be funny to have Spike be the Watcher. And just have him be horrible to it. No, you're terrible. Do it again. Oh my God, you're boring me. You know, that would be kind of funny, actually. But Spike's a vampire, man. He doesn't age, and I'm human. So, you don't want to be like, "Wow, Spike looks really good for his age." Like, no. The only funny thing is Spike looks exactly the same as he did in 2001. It's like, "You people look terrible. What, you're tired? What happened to you?" You know, that's funny. Yeah.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you, great question. You guys are awesome. We've got a question up here at the top, number 3, up on the right. Hello, sir.
Hi, I'm Mike.
Yeah, hey Mike.
What would a conversation be like between Spike and Zamasu?
What would that be like? "Oh, you puny mortal. I'm not mortal, I'm a vampire." "What's a vampire?" "Oh, forget it, you never understand."
Love it, thank you, sir. We got a question here up on the top left, microphone number 4. Hi there.
Hi,
So, one of my favourite episodes is Once More We're Feeling. I was wondering, do you still know the lyrics to Rest in Peace and can you sing it?
No, I don't do it anymore. I don't. Let me rest in peace. Let me get some sleep. Let me take my love and bury it in a hole 6 foot deep. I can lay my body down, but I can't find my sweet release. Let me rest in peace. It's so easy to make people happy when you've been on television.
There you go. You're doing it well. We've got a question over here, microphone. Thank you for that. We've got a question here at microphone number 1 on the right. Hi there.
Hey, Spike.
Hello, I'm Jace.
Hey, Jace.
Hi. I was wondering, what's your favourite line that Spike said in Buffy?
Wow, so many.
Sorry.
So many. Out for a walk. A bear! You made a bear! Undo it! Undo it! Bite me. You know. Standard ones. Yeah. What's your favorite?
Oh God. I think anytime you're a wee bloody puppet man. I know that's an angel, but it's still Spike.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
A lot of singers to choose from. Got a question over here at microphone number 2 on the left. Hello.
Hi, I forgot my name for a second. I'm Alex.
Hey, Alex.
The last person beat me to my original question, but I'm an aspiring actor, and I want from your information and your advice, what would you give to any other aspiring actor? What would you do?
Yeah. Every human being is beautiful enough and interesting enough to be stared at. Every single one of us. And the irony is, actors like myself, we tend to cover up the most interesting and beautiful sides of ourselves by trying to be interesting and beautiful. By trying to be cool. Or trying to give the audience what we think they want, as opposed to the truth. Which is always kind of weird. Like, human beings are fascinating because we're so weird, you know? The thing that actors give the audience, the big gift is that we allow the audience to stare at us, to study us. It's the only time that we can really do that, you know? Like, people watching is very interesting because people are weird, you know, and they're very interesting to watch. But when you're people watching, you're watching someone who knows they might be being studied because they're out in public. What's more fun is doing the peeping Tom thing. When you're looking at someone who doesn't know, who is certain that they're private. Now, but if you do that, you go to jail. So don't do that. But we actors, we give we give them something very close to them. We give the audience, like, I will be private in public. You know? And it's a big gift. But because it's rude. Like, if you study someone, if you sit down at a bar and just be like, you're going to get into a fight, you know? So we allow people to stare. But it's not easy, because the only time that predators stare at each other, and we are predators,